Hi there, just thought I'd do a video of my VW Crafter which I converted from a bare van. From this side you can see we've got some 20-inch wheels on there which set it off quite nicely. The rolling radius is very similar to the originals, albeit 20-inch. These are 275/40 tyres fitted and they are pretty much spot on to the GPS speed. At the front we've got a couple of fog lights, just for additional lighting in the darker campsites. Got a digital aerial on the roof there because I had a head unit fitted with DAB and the radio frequency wasn't brilliant, so I fitted a digital aerial. Again, another eBay purchase, about £21 for that. And in the front of the windscreen here we've got a dash cam, and that was an additional tenner on top of the head unit which I also got from eBay recently. On the near side then we've got some tinted windows with sliders, they're aftermarket fit, and a fuel step, electric step, which is probably the lowest point on the chassis. Moving round to the side of the van, just got a water point there which is plumbed into my SureFlow pump inside in case I want any water either side of the van, either to wash the van or as an external shower. It's the supply for that. Further up the top there we've got a Firehammer F65S awning, that's a 4-metre awning, and I've fitted a couple of awning lights, LED lights on the side. There's a third one inside in the cupboard which you'll probably see in a moment. As we're up at this side here, see these small porthole windows, they're from Lumar and they're a marine window which is very convenient because the beds are raised at the back. When you sit up in the bed you can just tilt those windows up, get a nice bit of fresh air coming in. This side finish off with external barbecue point. That's very useful. And moving around to the back, got bike rack holders. Bike rack's taken off just at the moment. Up at the top there we've got twin cameras, one for reversing and one just for a position camera, and the aerial for the TV, which is an Avtex. Further round to the offside we've got some very large fridge vents. That's because of the size of the fridge inside. Again, you'll see that in a moment. We've got the exhaust for the Truma Combi 4 combined water heater. We've got external 230 volt if we decide to hook up, which we generally don't. The flue for the fridge I've built into the top vent as I didn't really want too many holes in the side of the van. And I've put a couple of computer fans inside there also, which are connected to a cheap £5 thermostat which comes on at 30 degrees, so it just gives an extra bit of circulation to get rid of that heat from the fridge in hotter weather. This side we've got the additional red external water supply there, again from the SureFlow pump, and the white one next to it is the fill, and that's to a Barrett tank which I had made bespoke by Barrett Tanks, funnily enough. I'll show you that, that's at the back. I took out the spare wheel and replaced it with this tank here, which is 200 litres. It's fully baffled. Really is for when we go into the Alps and you're away from a water supply for some time. I've got the option of putting 200 litres in there, but driving with 200 litres over the rear axle is probably not a fantastic idea, albeit not going too fast. So I only generally put about 100 litres in there. A couple of additional reversing LEDs, very useful at night, so you're not just relying on the single reversing bulb. Just moving a little bit further across underneath, we've got the waste tank. Again, that's another Barrett tank. I'll just see if you can see that underneath there. That's a long thin tank which I've managed to slot alongside the prop shaft. That's 75 litres. We've got a slide valve, which is a 2-inch slide valve, which you can get from any pond suppliers. It's only about £17. Really quick dump of the grey water. And also, I'm not sure whether you can see, let's just scoop this underneath. Just the other side there, I've got an electric 1-inch valve in case it's absolutely tipping it down. I don't fancy getting out of the van. Lpg Fill is just here. Because we travel cross-border in Europe, don't really want to be having to fill up, exchanging colour bottles and regulators. So with the LPG tank, you can just top up at any garage. And that tank is a gasset tank, which is just under here. That's a 37 litre, I'm not sure if you can see that, it's a bit dark. 37 litre tank. So I've got 80% of that as a full fill, which lasts a good 3 weeks, if not more, with that large fridge, water heater, the hob, etc. To finish off this side, again, another sliding factory type window. I've got some wind deflectors on the side windows there, because unfortunately the van wasn't fitted with aircon. So we generally drive at about 50-55 with the windows open, and that stops all buffeting and wind noise, well, the majority of wind noise, which is very useful. Just upgraded the brakes with some Brembo pads and discs. They do inherently feel really slippery, these crafters, and I think the Sprinters are the same. They're not very confidence inspiring. And to be honest, the upgrade really hasn't made a massive amount of difference. I could tell a little bit more bite, other than that, not a massive amount of difference. So the slide inside, this is the cover, which I should be putting on. Oh, just before I forget, I made a little notch here out of a sliver of aluminium with just a little notch inside it, just at the right point I wanted the door to stop and for the runner to sit inside it, and that really was useful. So the door actually stays open partially if required. Otherwise, the beauty of these vans, you can open the door and all the elements and the sun. Right, just started rain, so that's fantastic. So what I'll do is I shall just close the door and get inside. Okay, we'll start at the front. So inside the front here on the dash, I've got the reversing camera and the tyre pressure sensor. Just down here, managed to fit inside the regular aperture. That's the switch for the reversing camera and the tyre pressure sensor. Tyre pressure sensor was about 30 quid, and they just screw onto your valves and send a signal to the screen, and that keeps me updated. But because I've only got tyres that are load rated to 950 kilos, and I'm not far off that, I just wanted to keep an eye on the tyre, both the pressure and the temperature, and that gives me that. These switches here, all the ones that are connected to the van battery are illuminated. The blue is the front LEDs, the red is the rear LEDs, the yellow is the camera, and the green is the electric waste valve. This is just a voltmeter for the van battery, the leisure battery. This is the water level and the waste level. That's the CBE level gauge. Just further over to the right, we've got the battery for the van. I don't think these are 100% accurate, but they're close enough to give you an idea and keep a good monitor of it. And that's the gasset gas level, which is woefully inaccurate. When there's 1 bar left on there, I've got about 16 litres left. So as soon as I get it down to 1 bar, I know I've only got about a week left. So pretty pointless, but there you go. This is the head unit. I'm not sure it's actually not going to work because I haven't got the keys in the ignition. Let me just do that for you. There we go. I'll stick this on. Okay, so regular head unit.
My attention was drawn to his massive.
Okay, and this is basically an Android unit. And does everything a tablet will do. This is preloaded with NavMe, which was my choice, Sigic, which is a default navigation app. I've also got Google Maps in there because I can piggyback it onto my phone. DAB radio, loads of stuff, loads of apps on there. To be honest, mainly use it for the DAB radio and the satellite navigation. What else we've got at the front here? At the top here, put some additional fans in, and a couple of 12-volt outlets connected to the leisure battery. Also at the top here, I've got a couple of outlets connected to my Truma aircon unit, one above the driver, one above the passenger. These are factory fitted, well, motorhome factory fitted blinds, which look really good. They're excellent for blackout. The only downside when you're driving is this area here. It does restrict your vision sometimes, so you've just got to make sure you've got clear vision. I've got those on the front also that come out. Okay, so coming further back, got the Heki MIDI roof light, which is a nice size. That's fitted in, I think, the location that's designated for a roof light, or certainly it looked as though it was an ideal fit. Sight blinds, which have blackout and fly nets fitted. Because obviously we've got the factory sliders, so I had to put some additional blinds on the inside to get that feature. Where are we? Underneath the front seats, which all swivel. In fact, these are Ford Galaxy seats, which I've had reupholstered. They swivel round, so all the seats face each other. Underneath the passenger seat, I've got a Sterling B2B. So that gives us 50 amp recharge whilst driving off the alternator, which I've also uprated to 180 amp alternator, just in case I was overloading the previous, I think it's a 140. And next to that I've got a CTEC M300 battery charger, and that's when we plug into the mains, and that will keep the leisure batteries topped up. Because the Ford Galaxy seats swivel and they're slightly lower, they will foul up the handbrake, and so I don't know if you can see this piece of billet aluminium here, which is about 10mm wide. I've just drilled that out and lowered the mounting for the handbrake.